Now, to get started with Django and with our own code, there's one important Django concept which we need to understand. We got our Django project here, the My Page project. Inside of this My Page project folder, there is another My Page subfolder which contains some Python files. Now, Django projects embrace a modular structure. So a Django project often consists of multiple modules that make up the project. Now, in Django world, those modules are not called modules though, but apps. And you then do store your actual application code in those apps. So you don't really work in this main project subfolder which was created for you, but instead, to add different features to your entire project, you would add multiple apps that hold those features. And that might still sound very cryptic, so let's get there step by step. First, we want to create a new app in our Django project. And for this, we're again going to use this manage.py file. And there, the start app subcommand, and then any name of our choice. In the next course section, I want to get started working on a challenges app, which allows us to set monthly challenges and view monthly challenges. Simply a simple basic app so that we can get started with Django. Therefore, what I'll do here is I will quit this running development server with Ctrl+C, and then run Python, or in my case, since I have multiple Python versions installed, Python 3, manage.py, start app, challenges. Run that inside of your entire Django project folder. And what this will do is it will create a new subfolder, challenges, which also contains a bunch of py files. And these are not the same files as we had before in My Page. Now, before we analyze these Python files to understand what they're doing, I want to make sure that we fully understand what exactly Django apps are. Because we heard about Django projects, which we created with the Django admin command, and now we got apps. So what's the deal with that? We got our My Page Django project. And in that project folder, we also got another My Page folder, which for example has the project-wide settings in this settings.py file. So this My Page folder inside of the created My Page project basically holds the project-wide configuration for this project. But then in addition to that project-wide configuration, we got individual apps, modules, we could say, which we add to this project, which combined make up this project. So when we build a website with Django, we create a project for this, and the entire project is our website, so to say, but the different features of this website. Let's say we're building a shop, so we got a feature for displaying products, and we got a feature for handling the cart and the checkout process. Those features would be represented by apps in this project to split our code and logic by feature into these different apps, into these different modules. That's the idea. So we, for example, created the Challenges app, but we could create more apps in one and the same project. So all these apps would coexist in this My Page project. And apps, therefore, simply are the building blocks that form this overall project. And we could translate the name app here with module. Since app sounds like a big standalone thing, it actually turns out that even a part of a bigger application could be an app in the Django world. And let me give you a couple of examples for this. Let's say you're building something like Google. If you think about Google, the website Google, then of course they have the Google search, But there also are Google Images, Google Maps, and many other Google products. And therefore, we could say that the project is Google, but the apps which exist in this project are search, images, and maps. In the case of Amazon, we could have the shop, but then also Amazon Prime Video, Amazon Music, and that would be our separate apps. Now that's one way of looking at it. And if you would build your next Google or Amazon with Django, you would create a project named Google or Amazon, and in there you would have these apps named Images, Search, Maps, and so on. But that's of course for very large scale projects. We can also apply this idea of apps or modules to smaller projects. Let's say you build your own online shop. So like Amazon, but without video, music, and so on, just the shop. Now, this could be one big app, and you could create one app in one project if you're building this with Django. But to keep your code maintainable and maybe also reuse code with other projects, you alternatively could also create apps in your shop project where one app is about displaying products and product details to customers. Another app is for the shopping cart and the checkout process. And for administrating the products, you might have another app. So apps don't have to be those big standalone products which you could offer to your customers. An app in Django can also just be one small module of a bigger product, a bigger website you're building. And that's how you can also think about it. So here, for example, I have the Challenges app in my Page project, and then I could have another app, which is a shop and therefore totally unrelated to challenges. Or if my entire project is about challenges, then I could have the Challenges app, and then another app which is for administrating the challenges, and then a third app which is for sharing the challenges. And those apps could be named Admin and Share. So it's really up to you how you want to structure this. It's just important to be aware of this concept of apps, which is where you do write your code in the end. And this concept exists so that you don't have one huge code base, but instead you have multiple smaller packages of code, which you can then combine together to one project. Now, for simple small websites, this might look like an overkill, but of course for bigger projects, this can be very useful. And with all of that out of the way, we got this Challenges app in the My Page project now, and therefore now we're almost ready to start writing our own code. I just briefly want to walk over these folders and files that were created as part of this app.